The title of this film is absolutely an understatement for just how strange and absurd this film actually is. What is going on, my horror fans and friends? It is your boy Woodsboro Fanatic, and we are back with day 22 of my horror movie challenge, watching and reviewing a film I have never seen before. Today's film is Cuckoo, the newest 2024 release, produced by Neon, directed by Tillman Singer, and starring Hunter Schafer and Dan Stevens. The plot follows a teenager played by Hunter Schafer who, after losing her mother, is forced to move with her father, her stepmother, and her half-sister to an isolated resort. And quickly upon arriving at this resort, she realizes that there is something incredibly wrong. Jumping right into the positives, I love how the opening sequence of this film instantly sets the tone for what's to come in terms of its suspense and uncertainty. This absolutely won't be a film for everybody, and there's a lot of reasons for that, but mainly because of just how fucking weird this is. Me personally, I love weird horror movies, usually because they provide something original, and this was nothing short of that. This was right up my alley, but again, this is one of those films where, as I'm watching it, completely understand how this could be divisive. The resort and setting itself provides its own sense of life and character. We get multiple shots where the landscape takes the forefront of the frame, and it's a beautiful landscape. The cinematography is gorgeous, but even when the landscape isn't the focal point of a shot, it is always looming in the background. It has this presence of its own, and again, it kind of just adds to that overall uncertainty and eeriness that's being built throughout the whole film. The setting, again, is complemented with beautiful cinematography and color grading and color schemes. The use of the setting and the setting being a character in itself feels very reminiscent of how the Overlook Hotel felt in The Shining. And if you've seen that film, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The setting and the hotel itself is one of the biggest elements throughout that whole film, and this again felt very reminiscent of that. I thought the editing in this film was probably the most jarring aspect of it all. There are multiple scenes that feel very repetitive, like literally you're watching the same thing over and over and over, but it is a crucial element to the story at hand. But the way these repeated scenes are edited is just very odd to see, but in the best way. Like it adds this really uncomfortable, unnerving feeling to all of it. And the sound design in this movie is eerie as all hell. I mean, it's the main tool that is used to create suspense throughout the runtime, and the the noises that we're hearing are just as fucking weird as the film itself. And there's a lot of points where we hear certain sounds and noises that are kind of just lingering off in the background, and at certain points it is absolutely spine chilling, especially when you don't know where it's coming from, you don't know what it is, you just hear it. Very, very effective. This is casted great all across the board, but Hunter Schafer and Dan Stevens are absolutely the standouts of the film. Hunter Schafer gives us one of the best performances of the year, to be honest, out of any lead. And then Dan Stevens is just absolutely electric, uh, delivering a very, very off-putting performance, yet being so charismatic. And the film lets you know as soon as this, like the second his character is introduced, it's no secret that there's something off about this guy. He is weird as fuck, and he plays it to the absolute T. Now jumping into the negatives, and truthfully, I don't have too many negatives. I thought this was a good film overall, but fair warning for anyone who hasn't seen this yet: the trailer gives away the majority of the good scares that this film has to offer. So go into this as blind as possible, if possible. My next gripe with the film is that the final act just seems to go all over the place with its reveal. We finally learn what's really going on, but the way the information is presented to us, I think, ultimately gave me more questions than answers. It was extremely convoluted and confusing, in my opinion. I also felt like this suffered from a classic case of showing us way too much in terms of the looming danger or presence at hand. Uh, Way too many close-up shots of this figure, whatever you want to call it, and ultimately what that did for me was kill any tension or kill any uncertainty, kill the ominous tone that was built throughout the film when we weren't really sure what the hell this thing is. I think in this case, this evil or this figure, whatever you want to call it, works much better when it's lingering in the shadows, or it's presented to us very subtly, with different lighting techniques or camera angles. Overall, though, guys, I thoroughly enjoyed this. Again, it definitely won't be for everybody, but if you're one of those people who has found an appreciation for how weird horror has been this year, then this might be right up your alley. Um, if nothing else, definitely check it out for the freaking performances because they are absolutely phenomenal. And again, support independent horror. I think it's just dope to see, all these independent films are getting these theatrical releases, and this will continue to happen as long as we continue to support and go see them. So definitely check this out.